Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. So before we even get started, I want you to just take a second and look around you. Like, really look. The room you're sitting in, the device you're watching this on right now, even your own hands. What if I told you that absolutely none of it is actually real?
I know. It sounds totally crazy, right? But what if there is literally a 50-50 chance that you, me, and this entire universe are just, well, non-player characters, NPCs, living inside a staggeringly massive cosmic computer program? Today, we are diving deep into simulation theory to figure out if our reality is just one giant illusion?
Section 1. The video game analogy.
To even wrap our heads around this existential concept, we kind of need to ground it in something we all understand: the explosive advancement of video games. Think about it. 40 years ago, the absolute pinnacle of gaming was Pong. It was literally just a couple of pixelated white lines and a dot bouncing back and forth on a black screen. But today, we have these massive, hyper-realistic simulated worlds like Cyberpunk 2077. So just extrapolate that forward a bit. Imagine 1,000 years from now. With advanced AI, we are going to create virtual realities where the characters genuinely believe they are real. And well, if we can do that, who's to say an advanced civilization hasn't already done it to us?
And listen, this isn't just some late-night dorm room sci-fi chatter. There is real heavy math behind this question. The famous philosopher Nick Bostrom actually proposed a pretty staggering probability. He believes there's a greater than 70% chance that our reality is entirely simulated, meaning we are probably not the base reality at all.
Section 2. Ancient philosophical echoes.
You know, what's wild is that this isn't just some modern tech bro concept born out of Silicon Valley. The great Greek philosopher Plato was actually pondering this exact same existential doubt thousands of years ago. In his famous allegory of the cave, he imagined prisoners chained up in a dark room for their entire lives. All they can ever see are shadows cast on a blank wall in front of them. Because their environment is completely limited and controlled, they mistake those shadows for absolute reality. Whatever they're shown simply becomes their absolute truth.
And that ancient Greek philosophy, it bridges perfectly into our modern definition of simulation theory. Basically, it's the hypothesis that our perceived reality is actually an advanced artificial simulation, a lot like a highly sophisticated computer game. We might literally just be modern-day prisoners sitting in a digital cave, mistaking pixels and code for ultimate truth.
Section 3. Glitches in the Matrix. So naturally, you're probably thinking, if we're in a simulation, wouldn't we notice? Well, think about a glitch in the Matrix. That's a noticeable software processing limitation, or an error that briefly exposes the artificial nature of reality, because every single piece of software, every virtual reality engine ever built has hardware limits. Sometimes it lags, or it throws a random error. In our world, these limitations might actually manifest as strange phenomenon that we just simply cannot explain.
Take déjà vu, for example. We've literally all felt it, that overpowering, intensely strong feeling that you have been in this exact place or witnessed this exact event before, even though you know for an absolute fact you haven't. What if déjà vu isn't just some weird quirk of the human brain? What if it's a software loop? Or, a leftover memory fragment from a previous run-through of the exact simulation level you're playing right now?
And then there is the Mandela effect, where massive groups of people share the exact same false memory. Take this really iconic Bollywood example. Millions of people confidently remember the famous actor Amitabh Bachchan saying, "Rishte mein to hum tumhara baap lagte hain." But in actual reality, the dialogue is, "Rishte mein to hum tumhare baap hote hain." Seriously, how can so many completely disconnected people confidently remember the exact same incorrect phrasing?
Or hey, if that example was before your time, let's talk about Pikachu. A huge number of people vividly remember a black mark on the end of Pikachu's tail. But in reality, it's solid yellow, no black mark, at all. How do we explain these massive memory discrepancies? Could they actually be slight code alterations like a patch update in the Matrix where the programmers changed the timeline but they just forgot to fully wipe our memories?
Section 4. The physics of simulation.
All right. It's time to level up from psychological phenomena to hard science, because physics itself actually suggests that our universe operates exactly like a programmed engine. Take the speed of light. It perfectly acts as the universe's maximum processing speed limit. Physics dictates that as any object approaches the speed of light, time actually slows down for it. In a simulation, if you move too fast, you might travel through time and completely break the system. So the speed of light is perfectly hard-coded into our physics to prevent us from time traveling and discovering the illusion.
Which brings us to the famous double-slit experiment from way back in 1801. Look at this. When scientists fire quantum particles through a barrier completely unobserved, those particles behave like a wave pattern. But the exact second a human actively observes them, they instantly behave as solid individual particles. This brilliantly illustrates exactly how a video game engine works. A game map doesn't fully render into solid objects until your character actually looks at it, right? It saves processing power. Our universe literally only renders into solid matter when we are actively looking. Mind-blowing, right?
Section 5. Simulations within simulations.
So, this takes us straight down the rabbit hole to the absolute climax of this whole theory. First, there's the ancestor simulation model. Basically, the idea that humans in the future became so wildly advanced, they decided to simulate their own past to study it. But oh man, it gets crazier. The nested simulation model suggests that our creators might actually themselves be inside a simulation. And once we get advanced enough, we're going to create our own. So it's a simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation. This terrifyingly logical model actually provides a perfect explanation for the multiverse. Countless overlapping nested simulations all running parallel to each other at the exact same time.
But you know, we really have to address the dark side here, what we call the moral loophole. Because if absolutely nothing is real, can we just blame the programmer? Think about it. If someone truly believes they are just code in a machine, they might dodge responsibility for bad actions claiming, hey, I was just programmed to make that mistake. It's a really dangerous psychological trap. Ultimately, whether we're digital or flesh and blood, we absolutely must take responsibility for our actions within whatever this reality is.
Section 6. Escaping the illusion.
So, how on earth do we actually cope with all this knowledge? Well, interestingly enough, our ancestors kind of beat us to the punch long before sci-fi was even a thing. Take the concept of Maya, which is this ancient idea from the Puranas that describes the entire material universe as a grand cosmic illusion. Our ancestors intuitively understood the illusionary nature of reality. They didn't even need VR headsets to figure out that what we see right in front of us isn't all there is.
But how do you actually prove it? Well, that's where the ultimate firewall comes in. The good old rat race. The system is so perfectly designed that we are all just way too busy, working, rushing around, and completely exhausted to ever sit down and actually break the matrix. We're kept in this perpetual loop of just trying to get by. Honestly, unless a bag of money suddenly drops from the sky to definitively prove that this is all just Maya, the daily grind keeps us completely unable to cheat the simulation.
So, I leave you with this. Is everything around you just Maya? Are you ready to wake up? I really hope this explainer has completely shifted your perspective on the world. Honestly, the next time you experience déjà vu or you notice a shadow that looks just a little off, ask yourself, is it just a quirk of nature or is it a glitch in the code? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep questioning your reality, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next explainer.